friends, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I made a video, and yes, I know I could probably go back on my channel and look for all the videos that I have that start with that exact phrase, and it will probably be a lot, but we're not going to dwell on that. We're here for this video, and I'm so excited to be chatting with you. I just wanted to come on here and maybe do a little bit of a catch up, a little bit of information about what's happening as we move forward. Last month was Caribathon, and it was awesome. I still have to do a wrap up for all the Caribbean books that I read in the month of June, but specifically for Caribathon, I wanna talk about that. So I'm gonna come back on here and make a video that's specifically relating to that. Dedicated, that's the word. Specifically dedicated to that. So for now in this video, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a catch up on what's been going on and what I'm planning. So Caribathon group read was Pleasant View by Celeste Mohammed, and I'm inviting you here now officially. This is your invitation. We're going to be having a live discussion with the author on Instagram Live on Thursday evening, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So New York time, 7 o'clock. I'm really looking forward to chatting with Ms. Mohammed about this book. I really loved this book, really loved the stories. We've talked a little bit about it in other places, chatted about it with the book club members, the Run Right Reads book club that is. Also had a live discussion on PETA on Comfy Cozy Up's channel, and we chatted about the book there. And I'm looking forward to discussing the book with the author. I don't think I've ever done that. So this is going to be my first. This is going to be my first time having a one-on-one discussion with an author about a book that I read and really enjoyed. And I'm hoping that you guys will join me. So I will post a flyer on here, I guess, as well as on Instagram. So if you're following me on Instagram, go check out that link, set a comment now so you don't forget it, and join us for the Instagram Live where we're chatting with Celeste Mohammed about Pleasant View. So that's coming up. I read some really great books in June. I'm going to have a discussion about that. I said that already. So yeah, some of the things that I'm planning to do in the upcoming months, upcoming days, upcoming hours. I need to update my reading journal. It's been a while since I went through my reading journal and wrote down some things and just made it represent my reading, made it reflect my current reading. So I also have an Excel spreadsheet where I track my reading, and that is the most up-to-date place, I think. And so far it says that I've read somewhere between 65 and 70 books. My number on here is 65, and I think I have 2 books to log. So I think I've read about 67 books so far this year, which means I'm on track kind of to meet my public goal, which is 120 books for the year. I think I'm going to come back and do a real update video on my reading for this year so far. So yeah, those are some of the things that I'm planning to do going forward. Going to discuss a little bit on my reading. 2 other projects that I'm participating in now and in the upcoming weeks and months. I'm reading for the Booktube Prize. I'm reading nonfiction again this round, and a month has gone so far with the ballots. Of the 6 books, I have finished 0. No, that's not true. I came into the round having already read 2 of the books, but I think I want to reread them. So we're not sure. We're not sure how that is playing out, if I'm reading 4 books or 6 books this month for the Booktube Prize. But I'm reading for the Booktube Prize because the ballots are due at the end of this month, and I'm really looking forward to reading some of these titles. So another thing that I'm doing is I am participating in this Facebook reading challenge again. It's a group called Book Challenge by Erin, and we're now in the 17th iteration of that challenge. It happens twice a year, and it runs for about 4 months each time. So they're 4 months on, a month off, 4 months off, 4 months on, 2 months off. Yeah, and that's how it works. So after each round ends, there's a month where you do nothing, and then there's a month where you make your list and start planning for the upcoming challenge, and then 4 months where you read. Yeah, that's how it works. So book challenge by Erin usually has some prompts. Some of them are chosen by the administrators, and a couple of them are suggested by participants. So if you finish the challenge, you can win an opportunity to choose a category for the next round. So I have participated in this for several years now. I've never gotten to choose a category. That's usually because I'm never a first finisher or a top finisher in any way. Some rounds I don't even finish. But I love the categories, so I always try to participate. And I'm going to share with you what some of the categories are and what are some of the books that I'm reading in order to participate. And one of the things that I'm doing is I am including books that I'm already reading for other reasons, other purposes. So it kind of maximizes takes advantage of, other things that I'm participating in, so it can boost my accomplishment potential, I guess. But also it means that these are books that I have to read. Like, I got to include a couple of the Booktube Booktube Prize candidates that I'm reading on this list. So those are books that I know I have to read this month, so I'll be able to cross off some things this month, even if I carry over a lot of the categories to next month. That's a lot of preamble. So I'm just going to share with you in this video what are some of the challenges and what are the books that I'm reading for them. So the first category is always a freebie. You can read any book that is at least 200 pages. That is the general rule for all the books that we read for the challenge. All the books that we choose must be at least 200 pages in some edition. If you have a book that's 199 pages, find another version where it's a couple of pages more and it will count. But I never have that. Never have a book that's too short to count. Almost never. Usually I pick big books and I don't get to read them, which is probably why I don't always win at this challenge. But yeah, so here are the 10 categories and the 10 books that I'm reading. So the first category, like I said, is a freebie, and I found I put one of my Booktube Prize candidates on here because it didn't meet anything else, any other challenge. So I'm reading Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford. That's my freebie book. The next category is, it says, in a time of war, disease, mass murders, and natural disasters, we'd like to promote a little positivity. Read a book that you predict will bring you joy and happiness. For example, it can be a favorite author. And for that, I added I, Tituba, Black Witch of Salem by Maurice Condé, which I know the title doesn't sound like it's going to bring joy. But I absolutely adore Maurice Condé's writing. I have found so much pleasure in reading her books that I've already read. So it's a book that I'm reading for the Run Right Reads book club later this year. So I added it here because I really like reading her books. So that's my book for promoting joy and happiness in my life. The next category is to read a book that's set in Canada because July 1st was Canada Day. And some of the participants in this challenge actually start reading their books on July 1st. That doesn't happen for me. So the book that I already have on the go, no, not on the go, on my list to read, that is a Canadian book, is to complete the Anne of Green Gables series. I read the first book in the series earlier this year, and I want to read more of the books. So the next book in the series is Anne of Avonlea, L.M. Montgomery, Lucy Maud Montgomery. So I'm going to be reading that for that challenge. But also, I'm not reading it on July 1st because that's already passed. Next category is to read a book by an author who's of a different race or religion than you. So I'm Black and a Christian. So anybody who's not a Christian or not Black, their book would count. And so I have Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner as a category for the Booktube Prize on my list this round. So yeah, she's Asian, so that's on my list for that category. Next is to read a book with a flower in the title or a picture of a flower on the cover. And this is a really easy category because you could find any version of a book that has a flower on the cover. But I also have this book called Sunflower Sisters by Martha Hall Kelly that the publishers, Penguin Random House, sent to me a couple of months now, and I haven't gotten to it yet. So I put it on this list so it will propel me to read it soon. Next is to read a book with Books Bookshop bookstore or library in the title. And I'm reading The Book of Night Women by Marlon James because I want to read more of Marlon James' books, and it's a Caribbean book. Yeah, Marlon James is from Jamaica, if you're not familiar with his name. So The Book of Night Women is my selection for that category. Next is to read a book that was published the year of a significant event in your life. So the first publication of the book should coincide with the year when something happened to you. So for everybody, this is going to be different. I chose a book that is on my shelf and I've been wanting to get to it for a while. It was published in the year when I had my daughter. So in 2019, the book that won the Booker Prize that year was Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. And there are sections of that book that speak about Caribbean life. And it's a book that I have heard so much about and want to read. It's the first time a Black woman won the Booker Prize, even though she had to share her prize with Margaret Atwood, who has won the Booker before. That's another story for a different time. So yeah, that's the book that I'm reading for that category. Next is to read a book that is recommended by the librarian or a bookstore employee, or you discover it on a staff recommendations list. And I cheated with this one because I didn't go to a list of recommendations from a librarian. I didn't visit a bookstore. But one of the things that the administrators for this challenge one of the things that these administrators do is they publish the books that other people have chosen for the category. So there are albums on this Facebook page and you can go through and see what other people are reading. And I just looked in this album that other people had already selected. I found that someone had selected Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by Mildred Taylor, which was on my TBR a couple of months ago for the middle grade challenge. What's it called? Krista from Books and Jams hosts this readathon. It's middle grade something. I don't know. I'm blanking on that. But yeah, I'd wanted to read this in March, middle grade March. Is that what it's called? It happens in March. Yeah. So this book was on my TBR in March. I didn't get to it. And my husband had a copy and we were just talking about it recently, that he said he had read the entire series when he was a child. And I said, I've never read that book. I should read that book. So I put it on my list to read it now. Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by Mildred Taylor. It was a Newbery Medal winner. I think the author is African American. I could be wrong on that. The next challenge number 9, is to read a book that includes a trip or a vacation or a holiday. And for that, I am reading All the Frequent Troubles of Our Days by Rebecca Donner. Am I wrong in saying that is a Booktube Prize candidate? I think that's also on my list. So I was able to get three of my titles for the Booktube Prize reading that I'm doing on this challenge. So I feel like I completely won. And I was also able to get a couple of Caribbean books because, Caribathon. So last category is to read a book with one of these 5 words in the title: earth, air, fire, water, or space. And I thought Elizabeth Acevedo's novel With the Fire on High. She's author of Caribbean descent. Her family is from the Dominican Republic. She may even have been from the Dominican Republic. I can't recall. But Elizabeth Acevedo, I'm going to be reading about this book, With a Fire on High, and that has fire in the title. So yeah, those are 10 books for 10 categories. One of the rules for this challenge is that the books can't overlap. Like, you have to read one book for each one of these categories. So 10 categories, 10 books I'm going to be reading in the next 4 months. And if you finish the round early enough, you can participate in the bonus round, which means you do these categories again, but this time you have to use books that other people have read. So like I mentioned, there are photo albums on this Facebook page, and you can see what other people have read, and you can choose to read. And it doesn't have to be that you read those books for those categories, but the books themselves have to have already been read or been chosen by someone else in order for you to read it in the bonus category. And I just love this challenge. The interaction between the participants on the Facebook page is just fantastic. It's phenomenal. There's a lot of motivation, there's a lot of sharing, and it's awesome. So it's a place to chat about books, and I'm always looking to chat about books. So that's what I'm going to be doing and reading in the upcoming months. I'm going to post a TBR video. I'm going to get back to regularly scheduled programming. I've just been a little bit lax. I don't know if it's a summer slump or just that because the days are longer, I feel more tired. We're doing more. I don't know what it is. My reading has definitely taken a back seat in my life. My talking about books here on YouTube has definitely been lagging, but I'm here because I love it. I love you guys and I enjoy being here. So I'm gonna always be here. We had an anniversary here on my Booktube channel recently and I didn't even remember to come on here and celebrate. So I'm gonna be doing that also. All these things I'm going to be doing. Just stay tuned. It's all coming sometime soon. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you are reading, what you're planning for your summer reading. Yeah, we're planning, my family's planning a little beach trip soon. And I'm looking forward to reading a couple of these books on the beach. Footage will be shared. But yeah. Let me know in the comments down below what you're reading, what you're looking forward to, what your plans are for summer. Do you read more in the summer or less? More longer days, more time, but also feels like not enough reading time. So yeah, let's chat down there. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. We'll be back soon with another video and I hope you come back for it. Until then, happy reading. Bye.